Good morning, everybody. All right, y'all. Yes, sir. We got her going. Yes, sir. We got her going. Turn all that down. We don't need a bunch of feedback going on, do we? Right. Blow that up right there a little bit. That's about it. And a little bit twist right there. Better. All right. Good morning, everybody. Well, whoever has joined us so far, good morning. Runick, how you doing this morning, buddy? I have found a mandrel set that I am ordering. I will order it whenever I get everything situated this morning and I finish this live. I had found a set that had the mandrel and the tailstock saver, or the mandrel saver, the part that goes in here and here, and with the the barrel trimmer and all that mess that comes with it. I found one at one point and was fixing to order it, and then when I was looking at the specifics, it was for an MT2, and I got an MT1, and then I kept looking and looking, and I couldn't find the whole kit for everything. And like I said, I finally found the whole kit. That's MT1 for my lathe, the mandrel, the trimmers. All I'm missing is going to be, I guess, the random bushings for each pin kit and whatnot. But I'm getting there. I can't wait. Spike, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna try to spin a couple of clips this morning. This is a piece of epoxy, or one of my epoxy blanks that I've done. Back when I poured it, it was wanting to bend on me. I've trued it up down here so it'll fit in my chuck, but I don't like using my chuck, so it's been a few more weeks since I've messed with it, so I'm gonna see. It sounds like it's gonna be hard enough that it won't bend, so we're gonna try. But if it tries to bend, I have my jaw chuck that I can use. Just don't want to use it. I have a couple of pieces of cedar that I can turn, and then this is the first time I've ever done a turn with something on a waste block. This is just leftover epoxy pores that I put in a little bitty cup instead of wasting it. And what I'll do is I'll turn this down to try to make a little dab spoon holder out of that. But I don't know how well this is going to work. First time I've ever glued something to something like this and tried it. And it was some old JB Weld 5-minute epoxy that I used. And it's old. But it seems to have done the job. This has been sitting here for a day and a half, 2 days now. So I'm sure it's good and set and ready. So hopefully we don't have a catastrophe when we try to turn it. But I'm gonna start with this piece here and see how it goes. And hopefully we'll get some more people. I know it's kind of early. I'm still trying to find me a slot to fit in here and do these lives. I'd like to try to get one. If my schedule at home allows, I'd like to try to do one a day. You know, just because it seems to be really helping with traction on my channel. Let's see, where's my I can see glasses? I do this for therapeutic reasons and to help get out of my anxiety and all, but I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of work that goes in this stuff, and heck yeah, I would love to get the subscribers to be monetized one day. You know, I think that's the ultimate goal, but it is what it is, and we'll get there when we get there. Like I said, I am no rush. I'm just enjoying the process and all this fun creating and all this awesome community. It's all fun. I enjoy every bit of it. Gets overwhelming for my batshit crazy self, but I do enjoy it. Alright, got some more coffee. I'll fix the mask up, turn on my noisemakers, and get with it. Let's see. I hope this one stays and doesn't bend, as I got a couple of these to do. But alright, here we go. And I got some runic. This is a piece of wood that Miss Francis has sent me. I'm not sure what it is. This is one of the lighter pieces. It's not as dense as some of the other stuff. I think I got a piece of bird's eye maple that I want to do, and then I'm not sure what the hey, good morning, Alan. Good morning, Natalie. Not sure what the other piece is, but it's a darker piece and it's a lot more dense. But I might put that on the lathe this morning too. But all right, let me quit babbling and get with it. Thank you everybody for showing up. I love the support. I don't want to put too much pressure on it and make it bend, but I got to get enough so it'll quit stalling. Bad air bubble. Oh yeah. Yeah, down here at the end is an air bubble right in there. Ooh, this stuff sticks to everything. Still got a flat spot right through here, and air bubbles right in there. I should be able to get those out. I'm hoping. I can't see how far I go. I know the stick goes up to here, I think, so we'll see. Yes, with the air bubble, I'll have to cut it down deeper to get it out. I've tried to fill it in with UV resin before, but the resin just, I mean, it'll fill in, but it makes, you can tell that it's been filled in. The resin don't match, you know, once it cures, that UV resin has like a light bluish, like a dot, I don't know, it's hard to explain it. Alright, let's get rid of it. A little more pressure. Let's see if we can get it down. now. I think I got it now. Okay, we're getting there. Get all this out of the way. Alright, let's see how bad that bubble's gonna be. Hey, good morning, Bazzy. Oh, goodness. Alright, y'all, I'm going to try it any daggone way. That spot there I'm not going to worry with, but I am going to put a little bit of cloth, a little bit of resin right there. I was thinking cloth to wipe that out whenever I said that. Go figure. Don't want no dust up in there so that stuff will stick. I'll try this out and see how this works. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. There's a little bit in that divot there. We'll let that cure for a second and see how that works. Goodness. So how's this early morning lives work for everybody? Oh no, get out of there. I'm making a dusty mess here. That's there. Let it sit for just a few more. Too late. Rough it up first so it's not smooth. It has something to grab onto. We'll have to see. I didn't think about that. We'll see if it stays in there. I might turn straight past it though. You know, that's part of it. I'm not sure once I start. I know I have to bring all that way down, so I'm probably going to end up turning that out. But as soon as I don't, it'll be a little divot left. So we'll put just a little bit in there to see what happens. But y'all see what I'm talking about with that blue color. With the light on there, you can see it. Without the light, it don't matter. But I put a light on most of them because that should have some glow pigment in there somewhere. We'll have to see. Yeah, I didn't think about that too. Coloring it up. Let's see. These is the sneak peek. Some of y'all have seen them. I think I'm gonna wait and do these just on a regular video so I can make a video for it. But it just depends on how well I start doing through the lives. If I run out of something to turn, I have those ready. But I got to get back into making my blanks. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out a new mold setup, so I'm back and forth on that. I can use my old paper way of doing it, but I'm trying to get out of that and get into something that's more reusable. All right, we'll fix the mask back up and see how that works. A little chilly out here this morning, but not bad. We're awake. Turn it off. Everybody else is still asleep. I got my alarm set, so I'll make sure I wake folks up. Alright, let's get at it. Ooh, this epoxy is a mess. It sticks to everything. It's crazy how that stuff works. Not bad. There's a little bit of spot. Drop it down there. Hey, good morning, Dad. Thank you for coming by. Alright, fixing to start the whole sanding journey on this one. I still got to bring this down a lot, but I'm going to sand this and get it smooth. And I still got a lot of tool mark right there. I'm just trying to get an idea of what I got to do still. Was not ready for epoxy. Was ready, but not ready. I wasn't sure if I was going to turn the epoxy this morning or not. I need to get my fresh paper worked up here real fast. I'll turn that mess off for a minute. 150. Starting with all fresh paper. That way I ain't got all that wood dust and all that mess going on. Let's see. Wait me just a second. Let's see, 240. Of course, this marker's gonna die. Alright, I had to mess with that going. Insurance people yesterday, roofing adjusters, parts people, mechanic shops. I was busy. Let's see, 320. We had a hailstorm a while back. It's not a while back, it was a couple months ago. And did some work on the roof. It's an old roof, so we're trying to see how we stand with that on trying to get a new roof, and that's a daggone mess. 400. Don't like dealing with insurance companies, that's for sure. I don't think nobody does. Alright. Oh no, that's, oh yeah, that is 400. I got two pieces of 400. I didn't need 400 again. Huh? Alright, 600. Alright, now I got it all set up here on that part. We can get with it. Dust mask out. Yeah, it's got some cool color into it. I couldn't tell you what colors I used to mix it up. I mixed this one up and stuff months ago, but it's got some blues, some oranges. I guess it looks like either I went with black or green, something in there mixed all up. It's gonna look neat once it's polished up, that's for sure. I'm glad it didn't bend and it's working with me. That's why I'm not going to get too crazy on the shapes or nothing. I'm just going to leave it nice and basic like that. Get that knocked down, lop it off right there, polish the end up, and, you know, put my clip on there, and that'll be a good one. And then I got one more poured out like that. And so we'll see if that one will cooperate as well. All right, let me quit babbling and get with it. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I love the support. Thank you so much. I'm gonna work that down a little bit. Work that down with my flat carbide. Not gonna go too much on this because I didn't leave myself too much meat, so I know it's gonna want to try to split. So I might roll it up right in there, but we'll see. Got to be careful. I tried to catch right there already. Gotta be real easy down here. I cannot get heavy-handed or it will break. A little bit more. Alright, sandpaper the rest of the way or I'm gonna break something. Gonna start off with 150. Not bad. Let's see, I need something a little heavier. I'm gonna put a little 120 right here to get that wood up. Good morning, Miss Daisy. Okay, back to the 150. See what I put it in. I did drop it. Where did it go? It's hiding. There it went. I was gonna say, did y'all see where I said it? Cause I damn sure didn't. Alright. We're gonna go with 240. Do some 320. $600. Oh, get out of this dust mask. Alright, I'm fixing to start the wet sanding. Polish is right here. Get everything right here ready. Get the cloths right here ready. Alright. Hey Matthew, good morning. Thank you for coming in. Alright, still haven't got me no fresh wet sanding paper yet. I'm gonna put that on my mandrel order. But this will be alright. Water will wash that seat. I can smell the cedar on there. This will polish up pretty good. Alright. Just a touch. What are we at? Thursday already. Yesterday was Wednesday, so yeah, we're at Thursday now. The weekend's almost here. It seems like the week just started. Let's do this one a little bit more. Make sure we got the scratches out of it. Yeah, stick went to about right there. You can see it now that it's turned down more. Remember, y'all, don't use a towel like that. It get caught up in there and wrap up and break something. Alright, 1200. Just water in a squirt bottle. Homemade squirt bottle. I just took and stuck me a little pinhole in the top. Works perfect. Because everybody has their own ways of setting up when they wet sand and everything. I see some people use bowls, little dishes, and some people just spray it down. And with me, I've been done knocked the daggum bowl over and made me a big old mess out here. So easier for me to keep it contained in the squirt bottle. Oh yeah, it's gonna have some cool color to it. Alright, put that down. I put my wet sand and I drop that to the floor when I'm done with it. So let's see, where did the 1500 go? Alright, before I flip this mess up in the towel. Well, no, it's right behind me. I was gonna say I grabbed all three pieces. I know I did. Alright, 1500 on this last one. Turn that back down some. This is gonna look good with the polish on it. And again, I'll cut the end off right here and I'll hand polish the bottom of it. Drop that one right there. What I'm doing right here is just washing off that little bit of slurry from the 1500. That way it doesn't try to scratch into it with the polish. Now I'll take dry cloth, get all the water off. A lot of people will use denatured alcohol for cleaning the stuff in between like that, but we gotta go with what we got. Alright, clean cloth. My favorite stuff in the world. I call it Yorkshire grit, microfine. I hear bumping and banging inside. I think I might have people awake in there. And what I'll do is when I take this one off, I'll lob that very little bitty piece off, and then I'll take my carbon knife and shave it down the rest of the way. I just didn't want to keep going and press my luck and it break right there. Alright, a little more polish. Get another clean piece. Take any of that excess polish and wax off of there. Oh, got water all over the place back here. Alright, y'all, I'm fixing the shutter down and we'll see how good it looks. It's clean and dry. All that shine is its natural beauty, no more polish. I just rubbed all the wax and oil off. Alright, here we go. Oh, nice. Look at that. Now see, what is, no? Almost thought that was some of that UV, but no, that's just a swirl. Take the pressure off of it. Nice, that is awesome. That is awesome. I wish y'all could see just how cool. I mean, y'all can see it, but you can't see it. The camera just don't do these things justice with the pearlescence and the way the mica works. It just looks so much better in person. I got to get a better camera shot. I think I'm probably too close. Yeah, too close like that. Let me back y'all back down. Yeah, it's not bad. All right. That one is pretty. I like that one. See how much resin I put in there to glow. Or, I mean, pigment. Let's see. I don't know if this one has a bunch of glow pigment. Oh, it's got some. It's been a while since I charged it up. Alright, if y'all can see those specks all in it right there, I don't know if the light's going to let you see it or not. Man, it's got a little glow to it. So this is going to be one of the ones with the UV resin in, or the UV pigments in there, I can tell. Yeah, see, there's that daggum. I don't know if it's, I can't see if I got y'all on camera. You can see that spot right there, that kind of blue circle towards the top. That's the UV, or I'm sorry, yeah, that's the UV resin that I put in there to fill in that air bubble. But when it's not under the UV, you can't really tell. All right, let me turn the lights back on. That one's not bad, y'all. All right, we'll put it in the box. Let's see, what time do we have? 6:48. Let's get this out of the way. Make sure we got everything dried up right here. All right. Get the wet sand and paper up out of the way. Ooh. Get it set over here for next round. Get my other papers up. 150. 240. I gotta get my black marker and write on these again. I can't read that worth a snot. That's 400. 600. Bones, good morning, sir. Did you catch what I just turned? I don't know if you were in here to see that or not. Well, that's what we just did. This was one of my older blanks that wanted to bend, so I have been letting it sit for a while, and it did good this morning. It didn't try to bend on me, so that was awesome. We had an air bubble towards the end right there that we had to fill with some UV resin, but it looks good still. All right, drop that right there. Let's see. Don't have a lot of time. I'm gonna have to shut back down. I'm gonna put this back in here. This is one of the ones that I was working on yesterday when the insurance people showed up too damn early. This is one for the Lichtenberg burning, and I'll finish getting some shape to that. For anybody who didn't tune in yesterday, this is what I did on the Lichtenberg. I turned these down to shape and then I did my my Lichtenberg burn, and then let's see, this one I've already done, but these two I added some UV resin and glow pigment to. This one I put a lot of glow pigment when I mixed it in, so it stands out without it even glowing. But when you shoot the light to them, the UV light, they really glow. This one, the blue is just not as bright. I didn't have as much pigment in the mix, but that one's real bright. And then this one down here, I'm gonna do green. I figure I'll put some glow green in that one, and then the one that's on the lathe right here, we'll add the glow green to that one once we shock that one up. Yeah, I did the resin off camera. I did that last night watching people's lives. But all right, let me get this in here and tone this one down real quick, and then I have to go make sure everybody's up. All right, dust mask, where are you hiding? Got dust mask out. Yeah, they look good. I have to get my whole filling them in with the epoxy and stuff. I got to get better on that when I shock them. It's still a little, I guess, sloppy looking because my burner, it don't burn the grooves as deep as the big ones do. And then so when I fill it in and try to sand it off, I'll lose a lot of my little branches. And so I do it real easy. I take a daggum, it's tedious. I take a toothpick and I mix up my resin and my glow pigment and a little painter thing, and I take a toothpick and get it drop by drop and touch that groove and then kind of pull it through and fill it in. And then with this wood, once it gets wet, most any wood, when it gets wet, the grains and stuff will pop, and the pores of the grain will kind of stand. It's hard to explain. It's a little bit rougher feeling because it got wet. And so that's why I left these bits on. I will put it back on here, and I'll spin it with some fine sandpaper just to smooth it back down again, and then we'll clear it up from there. It's a process. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like, subscribe if you're new. Here we go. go with some 150. I'll probably taper this one down, and I'm either gonna round it off or I'm gonna drill into it for a dab spoon. I haven't decided yet. Ramses, good morning, buddy. Thank you for stopping by. My paper stacked upside down. Let's see, 240. Yeah. That's gonna mess me up right there. Hold on. Yeah, buddy. This is 240. I need my 320 right here. My finger don't want to. There we go. My fingers didn't want to separate it from the other one. Go with 400. $600. Oh, this messed up real quick. Take this off real fast. Whew. Oh, and throw it on the floor. Goodness gracious, it was a lot cooler yesterday than what it is today. It is warm backed up down here. I'm already at 71 out here. It was 60 something out, like 60 degrees out here yesterday morning when I come out here. Okay, let's see. Now this one, it don't look all that great, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Lichtenberg burn this one as well. So it'll come back to the lathe. Right now I just got it down to where I want. I'm gonna put the burn all through here, and then I'll cut it off. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna sand it over. I don't want it a sharp point, because then my luck, somebody gonna get hurt with it. So I'll round it out to where it's not that sharp. But like I said, I might, while I'm center, drill on into it to put my dab spoon into there as well. But let's see, again, if there's somebody watching that don't know what I'm talking about, that's the Lichtenberg burn. Well, that's trash, but excuse me. I'll set my little machine up on there and I'll burn it like that, and then I will go back, fill it in with resin like that, and then if you know Grumpy's resin glows. So I'll do a little quick shot. Boom, there we go, a little glow shot. But yeah, that's what I'm doing with these old, and they're just basically like popular dowels from the store. They're already round, but you know, I gotta put my center mark on there and then true them up. There we go. That's what I start with when I do these. You can do regular wood and everything like that, but just for the quickness, it's easier for me to try to batch them out like this when I burn them like this. And then Ramses, if you're still here and didn't catch what I turned first, this was the first piece I did this morning. I polished it up. I still have to cut this and trim that down a little bit for my clip to go right there, and then I'll cut the end off right there and then hand polish that one. But I have another color like this to do as well, but I'm gonna have to shut down here directly, and so I'll make sure everybody gets going this morning around here. And then if I'm still trying to get used to everybody's scheduling and whatnot, because I definitely do not want to step on nobody else's live. I am trying not to be disrespectful in that fashion. I want to be able to support everybody, and heck, if I'm running on somebody else's live, then I can't support them, and then they can't support me. So it's like, yeah, I try to be respectful for that aspect of it and not step on nobody, because I'm new to doing these lives, and yeah, I don't want to make nobody upset in the community, and I want the community to stay peaceful and happy. So yeah, I'm going to put a community post up and see suggestions on good times and whatnot, and then see how those times can correspond with what I got available, and see what I can do from there. But I am enjoying trying to get into this live. It's nerve-wracking, but that's what I want YouTube to do, is to get me out of that anxiety mess that I deal with. But all right. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. I'm going to stop the live right here. I normally tie them or try to tie some, but again, it's about the time that I got to make sure everybody's getting up in there. They got to go to work, and my son's got to go to his computer class. So y'all have an awesome day, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I love all the support. And there's some of my Lathe stickers there. I don't have everybody's sticker out here, but when I got extras, I put them out here to go with my Lathe. But all right, y'all have a great day. God bless everybody.